All right, what's up, you guys? I'm going to be checking if this thing is working in the locations in which we have it. I just need to quickly check out some stuff here. Get to the chat. Here we are. All right. Let me just make sure I can hear the sound and stuff. This is coming through okay. Get to the chat. Here we are. Might turn it up a little bit. There we go. All right. Let me just seems to be working. Seems to be working on X. Let's just check it out on YouTube real quick. All right, what's up, you guys? I'm going to be checking if this thing is working. All right. There we go. Seem to be good to go. All right, let's check it out. Here we go. We're here. We're doing it. All right. Let's check it out. So, is this ETH pump real? I know that this is what is top of everyone's mind. And there's going to be some surprising answers to it. I wish that there was an easy way to like have people come up here and share their thoughts as well while I was streaming. I think that there probably are ways to do that. But, you know, hey, we're going to take them for what we can. What are we showing here first? All right, cool. Let's just take a quick look here. We're just on Blowfin. We're checking out, you know, what the ETH chart movement looked like, and I'm impressed with what ETH has been able to pull off. Let's be real. It's pumped up a little bit here. If you go to if we go to CoinMarketCap, let's check out CoinMarketCap real quick on Ethereum. It has been able to move and outperform some of its friends. So we've got Bitcoin here. If you go backwards in CoinMarketCap, you can see the moves, the 7-day moves, the 24-hour moves. Look pretty solid for Ethereum. We got 13% over the last 24 hours, which puts it up there among the tops. Especially, you know, it's a little bit off from our golden child Sui, which is the one that we talk about quite a bit. You know, you got Bitcoin Cash, you got some other junk down here that no one really cares about. You know, Litecoin, Polkadot, who cares? Monero has been the darling for some time now. It's starting to move up a little bit, which is nice, but let's see where Pepe's at. What Pepe's doing? Pepe's up 24%. So, again, if you're talking about one of the reasons why I've been so openly aggressive against Ethereum, that altcoin index, by the way, is creeping back up, is because you just can hold better options. Like, we've talked about Sui, which is outperforming. We've talked about holding the big dog in terms of meme coins on Ethereum instead. Pepe's outperforming. But we'll give it some love. I mean, Ethereum's outperforming Bitcoin right now, and you can kind of see it here in the chart. It's looking beautiful on the day. Everything is pumping. I think that the bears have had enough, and the bulls are firmly in control here. Look at this. This is just big time, and I think the volume's actually picked up as well quite a bit. If you see down here, the volume really is moving on Ethereum. Now, I won't go to the yearly chart, you know, for too long, but just to give you an idea of what it's actually looking like, this is where we're at. Now, hold on, I'm going to close Telegram because Telegram's going to spam me to death if I don't. And I'm going to make sure that I can check out if anyone is having a comment that we're, of course, able to respond to that as well. So Ethereum's not looking terrible here. So that brings us up to speed with what I'm looking at on the Blowfin charts. You have the point of control over here on the right side over this time frame. The point of control around 1800. It's a little bit different for meme coins, to be honest. On point of control, on point of control with meme coins, people are going to be looking to make their multiple. They're going to be looking to, you know, just get, you know, get in, get out. That's not the case, obviously, with Ethereum. People are looking to buy and hold, and these green candles, you know, really tell that story. If we zoom out, the point of control comes into even more clarity here. I'm actually surprised a little bit at how high the point of control is. Like 1800 means that a lot of the volume was really on Ethereum was really around, you know, these earlier dates. Let's see if we can't move it back here a little bit. Like if you go all the way back here to November, a lot of this was accumulated actually on the way down, and or, you know, from diamond-handed individuals who are just never going to sell their Ethereum. Here, the point of control over the last year or so looks like it's more around 2,400. So the point of control has come down from 2,400 to 1,800, which means, of course, that the volume done over that time period was centered around this 1,800. So you're getting more and more people who are in profit on Ethereum, but the move here is more through ETFs and retail buying. It's not as much just degens. So the point of control should be a little bit more solid, should be a little bit more stable. You can see, of course, that volume kind of creeping up. So let's compare it to something like what's going on with Bitcoin. Actually, let's do that. God, Bitcoin's at 101. Oh my God, I love Bitcoin. Oof, but look at that. The Bitcoin point of control is at 84. Like the Bitcoin point of control being at 84 versus I think it was 1,800. So compare those, right? The price of Bitcoin's at 101 and the point of control is at 84 over this time period. So is that 20K over 80K? You got 1 and 4, about 25%. And Ethereum was what? What was Ethereum again? I know I should know this. 1,800 to 2K. That's about 200 over 1,800. You're getting like 1 over 9. So what is that? 12%, 13%. So comparing it to Bitcoin on where the diamond-handedness is and where people are really looking to make their money. Again, you have a 1 and 4, 25% versus a 1 and 9. Again, mental math, if there's any mistakes here, hey, it's how it goes. But more like a 12, 13% on the point of control. You see the shape here. It looks more like a B, which is pretty bullish. And let's see, that's a B here as well. So I think that both of the points of control actually do point and signal towards bullishness for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I do want to take a look at, this is the one that we've been kind of comparing to, that we've been pushing, right? We've been talking a lot about SUI as the alternative to Ethereum. And one of the main reasons why I am less bullish on Ethereum, there's actually a Reddit post. If I can find it, I'll pull it up. Let's see if I can pull it up while we're talking here. I don't know that I'll be able to, but let me see if I can do it. It was, let's see if this pulls anything up. Okay, well, I don't know if this is the right Reddit post, but we'll try and look at it. We'll bring it up here. It's on the Twitter. It's on this one, I think. Okay, we're gonna have to adjust the thing here for a second. But here, it's, why is Ethereum doing so insanely bad? And I found a comment the other day. All these people are basically just complaining. They're just whining about something that is not really that relevant. But I came across this here, TJ78492, who said Bitcoin is the ultimate store of value because no one controls it, and its supply is strictly capped. It was the first discovery of digital scarcity. Unlike Ethereum, which derives its value from utility, Bitcoin benefits precisely from its lack of utility, its core strength. Utility-based networks like Ethereum will inevitably face competition from faster and cheaper alternatives such as Tron, Solana, or even Ethereum's own Layer 2 solutions. The more valuable Ethereum becomes due to its utility, the greater the incentive for competitors to offer similar features more cheaper. English, but every altcoin faces the same problem. Bitcoin doesn't. Its minimal utility ensures no competitor can easily offer the same value proposition. Even if another network was technically superior, the effort required to develop, market, and scale it would inevitably centralize control, diminishing its value as a decentralized store of value. Bitcoin has already won. That is a great take. And tying it all the way back here, of why we've been talking so much about SUI and one of the reasons why I think that there's better options than Ethereum. You know how it goes. You've been in a meme coin before where if the meme coin tries to create some utility, well, then they all of a sudden open themselves up. If they say we're the fastest, well, then competitors can come in and say, no, we're faster. That's what SUI is doing. SUI is a direct attack, although people won't say it, on Ethereum. That's what is happening here. And as you can see here, SUI is point of control is down here at 220, up at 190. So 170 over 220. God, it's almost 100%. It's crazy. It's like, it's strong, and it has had a strong move. I will say that. Like the move on Sui has been rather strong, stronger than maybe even I would have expected. However, the reason why it's doing so well is because what Miston Labs is doing, they've got like partnerships. They just bought Parasol, which, you know, of course has a relationship with Pokemon. So there's been a lot of speculation that Pokemon is coming on chain, on the Sui chain. And it does a lot of things. It's very fast. It's very cheap. It's very easy to use. Everything that Ethereum is not. So all this volume that's happening here on Sui, back in the day, a cycle, 2 cycles ago, none of this would have been happening. This wouldn't have existed. It would have been all done on Ethereum, but now it's not. All these projects are going to be able to bite into that market share that Ethereum has. And by the way, it's not just Sui. You can go down the list. We know our good friend, Solana, right? It's going to be Solana as well. You've got Solana that is, you know, has had its run in memes. Much faster, much cheaper. Yes, centralized, much easier to use though than what's it called? Ethereum. You got Tron, right? Similar idea. All of these types of projects that are also up. All of this volume, this crazy amount of volume. If we go back to our coin market cap here, let's see if we can go back and see what type of volume has been printed. Not there. I want, where are we? Coin market cap. Here it is. If we go back just one, and we look at all this 24-hour volume, 24-hour volume on Bitcoin. So look at the 24-hour volume on Ethereum, almost 30 billion. All this stuff down here, this Solana volume, would have been on Ethereum. This Tron volume, Ethereum, $2.7 billion in Sui volume, Ethereum. Now I get it. You could say some of these are L2s, and that kind of counts for Ethereum. But again, it kind of counts to Ethereum, but it's still cannibalizing itself. You know, it's a snake eating itself. But I am looking. I am trying to figure out why Ethereum might be actually good. Sui to the moon. Look at Jules. Shout out Jules. He's the only one commenting. Shout out Jules. Only one commenting. Much love. Boom. There we go. We got Jules in the house. That's always fun. The final thing that I want to look at, and you guys know I love this kind of stuff here, is I want to see what's going on the social media metrics on Ethereum. Potentially, this is where I like to live, to be honest. Like, much love, Wayland. Thank you. I'm glad you're liking it. Dude, we're just out here vibing, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with Ethereum, and I'm kind of walking through some of the reasons why I think Ethereum might, again, it can pump 2K, 4K, 5K, but if it does that, you know, where's Sui sitting at? That's really my main point, and I hope that this is driving some of that home. But this is where I really like to live, here in the social media metrics. A little bit less so for some of the big boys like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and things like that, but it still does matter. And if we look over the last week, we see the engagement really starting to peak with Ethereum. And actually, you probably could have predicted this price move based on this peak here. This one here, you know, the engagement went up, came back down, but look at what happened with price shortly after. Look what happens with price shortly after. The engagement goes up, shortly after, price starts to pump. Ethereum does follow that pretty well, so social media metrics actually do work somewhat well with Ethereum. And I want to go compare it to what's going on with Bitcoin here over the last week or so. Similar type of idea. You see a similar type of idea here, right? The engagement goes up, the people talking about the coin, about the project goes up, and the price very quickly follows. The number of creators talking about it, you know how this goes. People are dead. They're out there in the woods. No one's talking about it. Then all of a sudden the price starts pumping and the creators start doing it, you know, to engagement farm a little bit. So you can see here on the social media metrics, it's very predictive. This is why I love social media metrics. It cuts through all the noise, just captures it. Similar view. If you overlaid this chart looks a lot like the Ethereum chart, actually. Looks a lot like the Ethereum chart. We're going to go over $4 today on Sui, by the way, which is massive. number of creators talking about it is actually more important for Sui than for some of the other chains, because it is not as old. It's not as grown up as some of these other chains, right? So some of these chains already they don't need to onboard as many people to talk about them because they already have institutions talking about them. But Sui, onboarding creators, content creators, is actually pretty important for Sui. So that's something to always look at there. And then look at the volume coming through. I know this chart's getting a little bit, let's get rid of some of this stuff. But look at the volume coming up here on Sui. So anyways, this was pretty short. I just wanted to walk through this. I wanted to fire it up and kind of see what was going on with Ethereum. Overall, I am pretty impressed by the move that Ethereum's had. I wouldn't say that it's out of nowhere. Like I said, you can kind of see it here in some of these social media metrics. The volume spike here is massive, and then it comes right back down and then starts creeping back up. But again, I still like some of these other projects, man. Sui is looking so good. But one other point, geez, look at this social dominance on Ethereum. This is actually pretty important. The social, forget about that like downtrend there. It doesn't really matter. It's just a data quirk. But over 10% of social dominance on Ethereum. Look at that difference with Sui, for example, something that I clearly like quite a bit. 1.7%. The Ethereum is really deeply ingrained into the everyday consciousness of individuals. Like it really is. Bitcoin, I want to say that the dominance usually sits around like 14, 15%, something like that. Yeah, here it is, 14%. I mean, that looks higher, but overall blended over the course of the last week or so, it's at, it claims it's around 14, which, oh, nope, 29.7, it went up. So Bitcoin dominance, you can look at Bitcoin dominance, of course, from the volume that's coming in, but you could also look at it from the perspective of what's being talked about on the timeline. And that's important. It's important because if people are talking about it, people will buy it. Even more so with meme coins. Like if you were to look at like a Pepe or something like that, let's do a comparison, right? Let's do Pepe, which is pumping right here. Like these engagements actually on Pepe, they matter even more. But you can see here that like price is kind of driving the Pepe, which isn't bad, by the way. It just means that it's harder to trade. Like if you can see engagements move up and then price moves, that's very good. Because then you could see the engagement happen. You can make a bet and you can make money on it. If the price moves up and then people start talking about it, it's good for the asset overall. But as a trader, it's a little bit more difficult for you to buy in on. So, and Pepe has a lot of mind share. I will say people talk about Pepe and ETH a little bit together here. It's showing the social dominance at 6%, which is crazy for a meme coin, like absolutely bananas. But you can see it looks lower. I don't know where it's getting this 6% number, but it looks to me like around 1.3%, which again is similar to Sui. So that is and they're similarly, similar in the market caps, I guess. I'd say Sui's what, 2x Pepe. But all right, well, anyways, shout out to you guys, everyone who stayed in and listened. Jules, shout out to you. Wayland, I want to say I very much appreciate it. I'm going to try to do some of these a little bit more. I will try to have a little bit of a plan when I come in. Sometimes they'll just be fun. We'll just watch Dave Ramsey and make fun of him quite a bit. But regardless, I appreciate all you guys for sticking in, tuning in, and we're gonna wind this thing down. Much love, you guys. Peace out.
Gazing through the window at the world outside, wondering will my meme spread worldwide, hoping that my memes will get noticed sometime. After all, there's only just 2 upvotes. They're upvoting some meme from another bloke. Watching all these old memes